Thanks so much for a great talk, David. And we have time for questions. Any questions? I know, he's really smart. It's intimidating. Any questions? Yeah, one over here.
I think people will want to hear this. Okay. So you started off with this idea about kind of tricking people and magic, and I don't really think you answered that, and I was hoping you could kind of maybe fill in that gap between what began as like, is this something that is about us, or is it us programming it? Could you talk more to that?
Yeah, so my experience, primarily I can base that on the Watson experience, which I know about closest. And we use some very advanced techniques. And it was as I showed you in that graph, it was very hard to get the performance we got. So it was not a trick. It was a public evaluation of it. We didn't know which questions we were going to be asked. And we just let the computer go on its own. We couldn't touch the computer while it was answering. So I feel confident that that was attaining what we said it was, which was, it was a computer that could answer these short factoid questions on open domain knowledge. What I want to at least start thinking about is, where can you fool yourself if you do that? So if you use these simple techniques in visualization or in asking questions, can you sometimes get back answers and they're not actually reliable? And so that's what I want to talk about in the Oxford study. The Oxford study is not bad, but it does show that your biases can affect the answer you get back. And so in that way, I don't feel like the computer system was helping them answer the question. They could have gone through all 700 jobs and thought about it like humans. They could have asked experts in the field. They could have looked at news stories to see what, or spoken with professionals to see, are you working on automating this? But they didn't do that. Instead, they used a system which gives you a very nice numerical answer, makes it convincing because you can say 47%, but I don't know if that's any more reliable than a real discussion about the problem. Yeah, that's a good question too. I've been really inspired by some of the works in systems neuroscience where you look at things like the dopamine system or the visual cortex, and you find out that some of the techniques that work in machine learning work much the same way. And these have been fields kind of going independently. There's a recent